Hello YouTube, Dizzy here, and welcome to a new Let's Play series of Hand of Fate. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with this game, I guess you could say it has a mixture of hack and slash with a bit of roguelike elements. Now, the premise of the roguelike elements is that you're facing some I guess magician or some I don't know who it is, some character who essentially draws cards to determine each different level of a dungeon, and you crawl through the dungeon, either encountering enemies or encountering you can find merchants where you can buy additional goods, because throughout the game you have health, you have gold that you can keep and you can use to purchase, and at the merchants you can also sell. And you also have food, so every time you make a movement, you use one food. So you have essentially your health and your food that you always have to keep an eye on. And as you go through the levels, each level is randomly generated with the cards. So the layout of the levels are completely different, and all the cards are turned down. So as you move forward, they turn the cards up, and you figure out exactly what it is that you have to face at this point. So I'm not gonna go any further into this here, and let's best way to explain it is really to show you. So let's get started here.
You have passed the 13 gates, and you come to my table to play the game of life and death. Your stake is wagered. I refuse none who come here, yet I say, turn back. Back so soon? I knew you would not falter.
Okay, so here we are. This is essentially what it looks like, the screen it looks like when you're about to start each and every one of your games, and this is the character that we're facing. So you can see the cards are it's a mixture of tarot cards with, I guess we can play a standard deck of playing cards, and those are primarily used when determining how many enemies you're going to face when it has been determined that you're going to be facing enemies. So let's get started right here. Start this game.
And one dies. Let us see what you're made of.
All right. So this is the first boss. There you go. He's first member of his court. Bandit leader, stronger and faster than most bandits encountered. He can become enraged, making powerful, unblockable attacks. He also inspires his followers to steal gold on each hit, so we're going to have to be careful about that. The premise of the hack and slash is that you have the hack, you have the block, and you have the dodge, so that's the rolling out of the way. For those that have played Batman Arkham Asylum or any of the Batman series, it's very similar. I'll admit the finish of it is not as nice as you would have seen in the Arkham Asylum series, but I still find this extremely entertaining. So let's, I'm wondering if I should maybe show you quickly in our inventory. So as you're moving forward throughout the game, you have elements that you can, you have weaponry that you can pick up. You also have armor. So right now we have light armor and a rusty axe doing only 20 of damage. You can eventually get gloves, trinkets, so rings, which give you either different abilities. You have artifacts, which I have not yet discovered. I'm sure you can discover fairly soon into the game. I can't think of any artifacts right now. Shields, helmets, and blessings and curses. So if you get a curse, you cannot necessarily get rid of it, but in this case, at least a blessing, you could probably select it. So anyway, let's not hold back anymore. Let's get into the action here. And we face a twisted canyon.
That glinting weapon.
You see a weapon glinting in the sunlight, lying next to a skeleton at the bottom of the canyon.
There is nothing like it.
He does talk a lot, so I have a feeling I'm going to be talking over him most of the time. I don't think it's going to be much of a problem, but if it's kind of ruining the story, I'll wait for him to finish talking and do my thing after. So let's climb down to retrieve the weapon. So here we face sort of like a luck situation. We have 75% chance of succeeding in doing this, and we have to pick a card. So when in doubt, choose C, right? So here we go. Success. Very carefully, you make your way to the bottom of the canyon. You retrieve the weapon from the ancient corpse, draw one equipment card. and we draw a sword, dealing 23 damage. In this case, we will equip it, yes.
A moment to savor.
And obviously, just to confirm, I want to make sure that we do have the sword. So you can see our character there has changed a little bit, and the sword is now in hand. We can... I'm surprised that we don't have the rusty axe in our inventory. Not that I want to keep it, but I was pretty sure that we didn't lose it. Anyway, so now we have a choice of either going right or going up. Let's go up. For what reason? No reason whatsoever. And now we've found the stairs. So the stairs lead you to the next level in the dungeon. Usually... I mean, I've seen... Yes, we're going to take the stairs. I've seen about... You embark on the next level, the next leg of your adventure.
On the final floor of our simple map.
Okay, so we have a final floor right now. Probably could have taken a little bit more time to explore the different cards on that previous level.
Well, it is early to be talking about victories and losses. Let us see.
I think I should really let him finish talking. So on the bottom left, if you haven't noticed it, so we have our health, 100 health. We have food, 18. Like I mentioned, every time you make a move, you consume 1 unit of food. And we have gold. We have 10 gold right now. The gold itself is used for purchasing additional items when you find a merchant. Let's move forward here. We have a winding trail.
Ambush. Hardly fair, is it?
Suddenly, a tree falls across your path, blocking your way ahead. The dealer draws you 1 monster card. So we have 3 of dust, so that essentially means that we're going to be facing 3 enemies. Weapons bristle from the trees around you. Their wielders' faces obscure by the undergrowth. Give us all your gold or die. Well, no. At this point, we're definitely going to attack. You shout a battle cry and raise your weapon. The battle begins. So here we have the hack and slash portion of the game. I still find it extremely entertaining. I'm going to leave the first animation. I mean, they do an animation like this every single fight. I don't really think it's worth doing every single time, but let's see what happens here. So we have... they do kind of give us a guide. So X is attack, B stun, A dodge roll. So we're fine with that. Go with this. Oh, that did not work. And whoa, there we go. So hacking and slashing. Not much of a... I don't want to say it's not much of a difficulty. There is a strategy behind it, though. Because you want to make sure... And there you go. You got the last kill animation. There's a little bit of a strategy at this point. Having gotten really to a point where it's extremely challenging, so don't really have to worry about that too much. You search the bodies for loot. Dealer draws you 3 gain cards. So we get 1 loot item for equipment. We get a shield. So with the shield, that was actually something that we weren't able to do previously, and that's the deflect. So that's going to be good when you meet ranged enemies. The shield itself will be able to reflect any of the projectiles that are coming, and you can also kind of bash enemies that are close to you to basically counter them. So that's what you see. That's probably why we didn't see. I was expecting to see the counter. So you see the little waves over the head right there on the icon. That gives you an idea that they're about to attack you, and if they do attack you, they will hit you. So you have to use the counter to stun them and essentially be able to attack or continue attacking who you're attacking previously. So we have our shield here. Shield provides passive damage mitigation. Press Y button to reflect projectiles or counter in this case. So yes, we are going to equipment.
Using your shield. Use of this skill if you wish
our next, at least our next loot is just 1 food, so we didn't get too much, and we get a gain of 15 health. So we had 90 health remaining there, so we lost 5 out of that loot, but that's okay. I was actually going to say, so we got an ambush here. He's going to draw another set of cards, 1 more monster card. And we're going to be facing 2 enemies. So now we're going to be able to I want to say parry, but now we can counter. So either the stun is good, or the counter. I think counter is probably the one that I use most of the time. And he's right there. So we stunned him with the shield. And I just stunned him again, and final blow. I feel like this first level is a little bit like a tutorial. But whatever, we're getting loot out of it, we're getting gold out of it, so why not go through it, right? Here we go, we finished that. While searching the area for anything worth salvaging, you realize that one of your opponents is only pretending to be dead. So we're going to sneak up and kill them. Again, we go into the luck factor of this, 75% chance of making it. So we're going to go with 2 with success. So we do actually kill him. Quick weapon blow to the head fixes that. You finish searching the area. Dealer draws you 3 gain cards. So we get 1 more piece of equipment. And we get a healing cap. Any healing that the player receive is doubled. So the only time that I remember any kind of healing, unless you get some kind of blessing or some kind of blessing card or something like that, the healing is essentially done as you're moving forward. So you finish a battle, you survived it, you move on to other cards on the dungeon, and I think it's +6 or +5 most of the time. So if that gets doubled, we're going to be pretty healthy pretty quick. So we got 5 food as well. We're now at 22 food, and we have 25 gold that's been added on to our 10. Leaving us at 35. All right, here we go. So we have our shop. With 35 gold, it's not very much, but I feel this is all within the tutorial-ish aspect of this first dungeon. We're going to approach the shop. Greetings, wise traveler. I have much to offer you. So we're going to see if there might be something. I mean, you can buy gold. You can't buy gold. I'm sorry. You can buy food and healing from the shop. But you can also buy items and sell items if you're not going to use any. So we don't need to heal anything. And you can see it's disabled there because we're already at 100 health. Buying food would kind of be a waste. I always kind of look to see if there's anything worth selling. But as you can see on the icon of the card on the left-hand side, we have all of these items equipped, so it'd be a little foolish to sell any of those. Now, this is what this merchant has in stock, and we can probably just compare. So our sword deals 23 damage. This is probably an identical sword to the one that we have. The shield seems similar to the one we have as well, so it's probably not worth doing anything. And Damocles. During combat, press the right bumper. So FYI, if you didn't notice, since you're seeing the different buttons everywhere and you're getting the icon, you can either play this with a mouse and keyboard. I'm using the old Xbox 360 controller to play this. I prefer it for the hack and slash portion of it. So during combat, press the right bumper to throw knives in 8 cardinal directions. That could be good once we start getting the higher levels, when you start drawing more than 1 monster card. And if you get into a situation where you draw 3 monster cards with 4 monsters in each, that could be a little overwhelming. However, I don't think it's necessarily worth it. And this is only 2 additional damage that we're going to deal. So I don't think anything here would really be worth it. This is a value of 35, so we're going to lose absolutely everything. So we're not going to buy anything from this merchant. It was worth taking a look, but in the end, we're just going to keep with what we have and keep our money for now. Put it in the bank, earn some interest, and buy something later. So
you have reached my first
I'll let him
champion.
finish.
A good man, driven to madness by a war that took all from him, wife and child, kith and kin. From such dark and brittle iron, I forge my tools.
So I'm not going to say anything about him here, because we've already read this in the beginning. So it's a Jack of Dust. It is the final boss fight, theoretically.
If you can defeat this encounter.
And so we're going to those floating things. I pressed too quickly. The tokens that are floating, those kind of unlock things for us as we move forward in the dungeons. So he drew a 4 monster card, Jack of Dust. So I have to make sure not to get hit or get hit as little as possible, because I lose gold every time that they do attack me. So let's go on here.
Get out of the way or stop them with your own counterattack.
And we can dodge, so we're going to be using a lot of... Oh, I couldn't dodge that. Well, I could, but I didn't. Get out of the way. Take you out. And take you out as well. So I feel the dodge is working nicely. Took him out. Oh, dodge out of there. Take you. Knocked you out. And kind of speaks for itself in the battles, but Still a whole lot of fun, though. Oh, can't... Oh, I see, I couldn't... I had the reflex to parry that. I gotta get out of the way, though. Get out of the way. Run away. And he's done. So we didn't really get much out of any of these guys, but here we go. We have this finished here. Beating the Jack of Dust. Yeah, Jack of Dust. I forgot his name. Here we go.
Down into the worms with him. Perhaps there is peace for him in the
So here you have the... we closed too quickly.
champion has been
Very
sent
quickly
to
you saw the
battle.
levels in the game there.
Yet we are only at the start of
Here
our
we go.
road.
We have our tokens here. These unlock things. So it says, as a reward for defeating the bandit Jack, you receive these new cards. Now these cards... Oh, come on, stop talking,
We
man.
have wagered.
Yes.
You have won.
I'm gonna see if I
You
can
may
mute him
claim
out.
your rewards, yet
He's annoying.
I will also claim mine.
Yes, of course you're right.
As you improve, so do I.
Are you done?
Balance
Really?
must be retained.
Are you done? I know you're alone in this room here and people never come to see you, but it's not a reason for you to talk endlessly. Okay, so these cards don't necessarily mean they're good things. So Jack of Skulls is the next enemy, I believe. No, these are probably all enemies, I think. Death King's Hall. No, these are additional cards that we can discover as as the new levels of the dungeons are discovered. So you have a local peasant right there, Devil's Choice, a river, and Captain of the Guards. So these are different types of enemies. I believe Jack of Skulls, however, is the next boss. So we have to add those cards to our deck because those cards will be used in determining what each level is going to contain. As a reward of defeating Bandit Jack, you receive these new cards as well. These are new equipment cards, so everything is within a deck of cards. So you have the medium armor, Chains of Rage, Mercenary Contract, containing 3, I believe. Medium armor again, which is unfortunate because we already have that. And then Fortune's Breath. I do not know what that does. And the Desperate Measures, so I believe that is just a huge mace. Let's activate this last token. And I believe this is Bandit Attack. So that is another type of attack that we can kind of run into as we start. So I think in terms of the pattern of how we're going to be moving forward in this series is we're kind of going to do one level every single time. Actually, no, it's probably not worth it. I'll show you at the beginning of the next one. That little cabinet that opened up on the left-hand side there. There were four levels and 3 sets of cards starting from the left, and then there was a red card at the very end, so that was a sort of unlock that you get. So in total, there are 12 enemies, 12 levels to go through. I haven't gotten to that point at all in any of the other playthroughs that I've done, non-recorded ones, of course. However, in this case, we're going to go all the way to the end. We're playing on medium right now anyways, and I don't know. Hope you guys enjoy. This is a game that I really personally do enjoy a lot. As you know, I'm a lot into the roguelite type of games. This one probably falls more into the roguelite, but the whole dungeon crawling is a big thing for me, and I personally really enjoy this one. So hope you guys like it as well. Hope you like this episode. If you do, please leave a like, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.